Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. Long time no see. I know. Nothing personal. There just aren't enough hours in a day or a week or even a month. There just aren't, and there's nothing one can do but make some serious choices. And I just had to stop crafting, looking at YouTube videos. I did a little teeny bit, and of course then I wasn't making videos. So I am here today. I'm excited. I hope to actually record a few videos today and then play them in the coming weeks. I don't know what the future holds in terms of my goal at producing one a week for you, or if I can do a few on one day and then sort them out. If this isn't going to last forever, it's just that right now I'm really busy at work, and I also was in desperate need of sleep and just relaxation, and I did get a lot of that by changing my routine. I was just able to really revitalize myself and get my resilience back up, and it was really lovely. So I'm happy to be back. I've slowly worked back into crafting, and while I was slowly, and what I mean by slowly is it's like it didn't just come back full force. I really just wasn't able to conjure up very creative things. So I did some cutting and sorting and organizing and things like that. And I only just set my video equipment up this morning, and it took a really long time. But I did some simple things, which this idea ended up coming out of that simple thing. I just started folding paper, basically. I've bought a blank load of digitals in the past little while because so many great sales have been on, and that was invigorating. And then some of the people that I normally get digitals from put out some great stuff. So I feel like I'm ready to move forward and share some creative stuff with you guys. It's hopefully worth your time. And I'm starting with this right now because this is the simplest thing I think I've ever made. It's a little tiny more complicated than it looks, though. Of course, but it's really fast and simple when you understand how to make it fast and simple. So first of all, just let me welcome any new viewers today, and welcome back to any of you that were happy to see my name pop up on the screen. If you aren't a subscriber, you might consider doing that, but at least put a like in the video. And I'm happy to answer questions in the comments. I love getting comments so much, and I will always answer them. Sometimes the comments fall off. I see them in my phone, and then I don't see them when I go back to do it. And so that's not good. But I've got a new phone. Oh, yeah, that reminds me. I want to set my timer. Okay, whoops. Okay. And so maybe I won't have that problem so much anymore. I do have a question, though, about YouTube. Do you notice on your phone that you are able to see the notification bell on the phone version of your YouTube so that you can get your notifications to come down that way? Because on this new phone, I don't have that option. And like I do on the computer, and I also have my old phone still working because it does work for everything but calls and texts. So I see it on there, but this one I just don't have it. Okay, and I hope everybody's well too. I did think about you guys while I was on this hiatus from crafting, and I think about you guys with every little thing that's going on. So I do hope that as the holidays are here, you're not suffering from a lack of food or a lack of checks, that your life won't be too disrupted this holiday season, and that you can be with people that you want to be with and have a good holiday season, at least in that way, right? We don't all need so much materialistic stuff anyway. So as long as you can get to the people or have them come to you, that's what really matters the most. So this is a collection of what I've made. I've actually made another one, but I can't find it. So I'm going to show you 3, and then I'm going to save these to show you at the end, all right? So that you have a reason to stay through. I'm actually, this is the first and the easiest. This is the most complicated, and this is it's intermediate. All right. This is from a company that no longer exists, so unless you bought these a long time ago. It was called Antique Paperie, and I think I bought almost everything she ever made. She was so nouveau when she came out many years ago. I loved her stuff, so I just have tons of it. And I just came across it. It wasn't filed in her file that I have on her online, and instead it was some in wacko place. And I found out that I can put different things in the search engine on pictures, like by topic, and it'll bring up all kinds of digitals I've forgotten about, instead of remembering the title or remembering who made it, which is how I normally do it. So that's how I came across. It's called By the Sea. And then these 2 are by this incredibly phenomenal new kit by Tracy Fox. Oh my God, you got to check it out. It's called Frozen Forest. And they're 8 by 8 because she made the digital pack for it first, and then the tariffs came along and it became impossible to ship to the US, so they're only available in the UK and I think parts of Europe from her personal shop, which is called tracyfoxcreative.com. And she still sells digitals also on both Love Junk journals. Oh, I'm pointing to this. No. Love Junk journals, you can get these digitals, and also on tracyfoxcreative.com. Lots of things are on Tracy Fox Creative, like, for example, the upcoming Christmas digitals, which I'm just going to show you real quick. Not all of them, just the ones I've printed out, because they're so fantastic. And I am lucky enough to be one of the people that's going to be in her December daily. My day is December 10th, and I'm super excited about it. But it's all postal. It's all postal. Aren't they incredible? And then, you know, everything you can imagine. I mean, there's tons and tons and tons and tons. I have cut out so little of the ephemera. Just so much. I mean, there's just so much. They are absolutely fantastic. Super creative, super fun. Lots of pages and lots of ephemera. It's 2 separate kits. Lots of these pictures. The type that we love as vintage people. Look at this. Isn't that cool? Oh my gosh. It's the most fantastic kit. It's so unusual to get a Christmas-inspired postal kit. I just can't get over it. I'm so excited about it. Look at that sweet little girl. So these are things you could use throughout the year. I mean, these are not, just because there's a pine tree in the back doesn't mean, you know, it could be, you can cut it out for that matter. But look at that. Look at that beautiful, it's a cabinet card. So it's just the best. And it's on sale, 30% off. So if it appeals to you, pick it up this month. I think she might have extended the sale, but I'm not entirely sure. I know originally it was to the end of November, so I would say, you know, check it out, see what you think. Her kits are extremely reasonably priced anyway, always. So it's never really a big bang on your pocketbook, unless, of course, you haven't been paid in a while. So these are from Frozen Forest, which I'll show you the sheet when I get to making these. But this is simpler, so I'm going to start with that. All right, so this is the one By the Sea by Antique Paperie. Now, you might just think it's a pocket, right? But there's more. There's more. There's more. Put that cute little stamp in there, and I picked up blue-green distress ink. And then this is a pocket. Yes, it's a pocket. And it's actually part of the ephemera that comes with this kit. But that's part of the surprise. You take it out, and wow, you've got this fantastic girl who's reading a book. All these girls are reading books by the sea. And then I made this cute little fold, and I added this little wrinkle so the dark spots kind of match up there. It kind of ties it all together. So let me show you what's in the pocket first. So I picked up on the blue, and this is a ticket from the Rose Bowl flea market. It's a very famous flea market, super ginormous in Pasadena. And then this is a little tag that I made. And I just actually took other pieces from the digital and turned them into little note cards. That's one of the cool things about this is basically you just use one sheet of paper, double-sided, print on two sides, and that's it. So these are left over. So there's really no paper involved. It's just... Okay, so that's the pocket. And then you open this up, and let's see. Okay. Flips open to this delightful scene. I love it. I just love this feeling that I get sitting by the sea, reading a book in a little cottage town. And then it opens up to here, and you can see the sea she's sitting by. Isn't that beautiful? And then the back for writing. So it's like a secret journaling place. Are we talking simple? Now maybe you've done this before. I have to say I haven't seen anybody else do this. This wraps around from this, which means that you tear out this entire side. And that's what gives you the extra paper for this. Alright, so that's super simple. Finding the right digital is the hardest part about the whole thing, honestly. And then if you want to fidget with some extra stuff down there. Alright, so let's go to the next more, can't say hard. Let's just go to the next more complicated. Let's call it that. Look at this cute little paper clip, which I got from Boho Crafter at her retreat that I went to a year ago, September. Okay, now this is from Frozen Forest. Okay, so I added this sticker down here, cut this incredible card, ephemera from it, and this is what it looks like without that. Isn't that fabulous? Fairyland. I love that digital. Alright, so then what happens? Then, oh, you know what? Hold on. Okay, so originally when it's like this, there's no paper clip holding it together. So how does it stay together? Right? How does it stay together? I folded one of the designs, glued two together so that it gave it some strength, and slipped it into these two pouches that are made by the back being folded up to meet the front. Look at that scene, you guys. Look at that scene. That yummy cream-colored snow. The light blue. Oh my gosh, I just love it so much. And then you open this up. Look at that gorgeous pine tree. I think that's my favorite tree in the world, are these pine trees. Big fans of pines. Oh, I just love it. Then you've got this cute, these are ephemera from the kit, and you got this cute owl. I backed everything. This incredible tree by a tree. And then you open it up further, and this is where you journal. This actually is also on this side, so that you're actually looking at this road and sky. It's a little bit longer. You look at this road, I think. It's a little bit longer. I think I cut off some. Oh, I just think it's a gorgeous digital. And you know, you could use a white pen to write on there, or you could put paper on there. So this is not hard to do. It's just a matter of finding the right papers. And this could slip into a pocket. Yeah, that's the way it would be in a journal. It would slip into a pocket. And then the last one is the most complicated, but it's still not complicated. I love architecture. I love houses. So what do we have here? Two little owls. You can see that this house has blocks of houses behind it. So then that makes you want to pick this out, right? Oh, yeah. And there's a fox for Tracy Fox. And then you can see that there's other houses behind it. Oh, and there's a moon up there. Then you got the owls. There's the house. So this one, the flipping up, is not the important part. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's an ornament, but you know, it's a little, doesn't extend this picture really. What I told you was the moon is an ornament, but it does look like a moon, doesn't it? And then you open this up, and you've got this whole little village down here, and this cute ephemera. It's a smaller version of the owl card. And then I made a little pocket out of another piece of ephemera and a little owl. And of course I printed all of these they would be on a 8.5 by 11 or an A4 is how they come. And I made them into 2 5 by 7. So that's what gave it the smaller size. And I didn't ink things because it's a frozen forest. So the white to me was part of the look. Isn't that cute? And then I cut these out of a smaller version of this whole sheet, and I glued them from the top to come down. I love ornaments. That's one of my favorite Christmas images, probably more than anything else, are ornaments. And this, of course, is a giant snowflake. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't it just gorgeous? Look at this beautiful picture. All the ephemera and all the pages have wonderful frames around them. Beautiful, ornate. You're going to love this kit. You really are. It's stunning. Frozen forest. Okay, so. And there's lots of choices, so you don't have to make the same ephemera I did, or, you know, anything. You can do whatever you want, obviously. Okay. So the super simple one I already really showed you. Really, seriously. It's so simple. I don't think I really need to show it to you again. Yeah. To save time. Okay. So on this one used this digital. It prints out at 8 by 8. I printed it out with a border, and so I cut off white strips on either side. My printer turns things over and prints them exactly the same on both sides. If yours doesn't, then my suggestion to you is that you make this side a plain or something that has an overall pattern, rather than trying to glue two pieces of paper together, because, you know, it'll be thick. It'll be too thick, really, for this to stay together. This is 28-pound paper. I tried it with my typical 32, and, you know, it was... Wait, is this a 32? I think this is 32. First of all, it's bigger, and, you know, it worked out okay. It worked out okay. But two pieces glued together is going to have glue. That's the problem. That's what makes it thicker, is the glue. So if you can possibly do this, it's just easier. And plus, it just adds more bulk in your journal. And these that are See what I'm saying? So that's just my recommendation. Obviously, do what you want to do. Okay, so how did we make this? Okay, so I'm going to look. I made this, I don't know, a few days ago at least, so I need to look. Okay, so here's the key. You want to find something. I mean, for the most part, I'm finding things that have a more interesting bottom. This was the first one where I actually got an interesting top. This is an example of where it's at the bottom, and this is an example of where it's at the bottom as well, inside. This wasn't very interesting, which is why I added the stamp and put this extra little row of, like, you know, foam, just to try to kind of bring it all together. Okay, so this is how this was. This is probably the easiest way for you to see it. And what you have to make sure to do when you're figuring out where to cut your line, whether you're at the bottom or the top, is you want to fold your piece in half exactly first. So then you know that your rip here can't go, well, in this case, the fold's at the bottom. But in this case, the fold's at the top, and I cut it out. So I couldn't go up this high, or I'd only have that much sky. So you do have to look at that. You have to kind of, the reason why I have this at this level was because I wanted to make sure to see the book that she was holding. Okay? So this went down to here originally, and it just showed some stuff, and it was detracting. And because this color is so different when all you're seeing is this much, I added this to bring this color and those black dots into it. So that's what you want to think about. This is the hardest part, and picking the right paper. That's it. It's not hard. It's just the hardest part. And once you get that, you're good to go. So in this case, I decided I wanted to keep these trees in here. Of course, I wanted to get the whole castle and as much of the pine tree as I possibly could. So fold it in half. That's the first thing before you even almost decide about the thirds. And then you're going to fold it in thirds. And so when you're picking your paper, you need to know that you're going to be cutting off a big chunk. And some papers that you might think are perfect, you're going to end up cutting off something you really love. So sometimes you can fold with this one over and save what you want. And other times, depending if you're doing the bottom or the top, other times you're going to want to fold that one in. Well, this is kind of an odd one because of the fact that I have this. Not really. What am I talking about? It's not that odd. What am I saying? You know, let me see. Oh, here's one at the top. Okay, just so you know I'm not making it up. This one's at the top, and so it kind of looks like it has a house upstairs. So I look at all these things. All these things matter to me. They may not matter to you, but they matter to me. So let's further complicate something really simple, shall we? Oh my God, that's my life. Okay, all right. So make sure you turn it over, and then you know what you're ripping out of here too. I was sorry to see this tree go, but you know, that's how it had to be. And I wanted to leave some of the tree, so that also contributed to how much I was going to have on there. So you make all those choices. And ultimately, you're truly folding it in 2/3 because it's 8 inches wide. You know, they're pretty skinny. All right? So, okay, so you turn it so it's on the back, and then you move this. This is the part that's going to get torn off. And that's what you want to do. You want to just kind of quasi-fold it so that you understand what you're going to be getting rid of. And yeah, I didn't mind getting rid of that. That was fine with me. Not a problem. Okay. So then you fold it. And you want to be as precise as you can. Like, really push the bottom in so it really hits that side. And really fold it so this comes directly to the edge. Why? Because your little square, or your little triangle of a pocket is going to come from this. So you want your triangle of a pocket to reach across from the fold to get to the other side. If you don't put this, well, see, this isn't really all the way in. I mean, my thing will reach it, but I would have liked this to be in a little more. Let me see how it compares to what I did here. Yeah, so see, I don't get as much of the castle. I missed that whole thing. So I am going to move this further in. I'm going to move it in what I think is about the right amount. Yes. And that brought in this. Okay, so this is here now, this is this. And that means I need to recrease. Uh-oh. Oh, no. How did that work out? Oh, I must have cut some of it off. Let's see, did I? Yes, I did. Look. This is wider than that, so that's what I did. I cut some of that off. Let's see how much. The fold is there. Well, that's not really the fold. I'm going to eyeball it. I'm sure I used a cutter. We are having a rainstorm all day yesterday, all last night, through till Monday. Yeah, it's cozy, it's dark, it's super cloudy. The clouds are right down on top of the hills outside this window, and it is fabulous. My heart goes out to all the people in the burn areas, which is almost a year old now. And we also had another more local fire, seriously, right at this time in November that, it might have been closer to Thanksgiving, but it's not far from us, and it destroyed a ton of houses on top of a mountain. So we have so many more fires here than you ever hear about. So many. In our state. The state's ginormous, as you know. So when I say that, they're not all in Southern California. And a lot of times they're in the mountains in the middle of the state towards Nevada, and they don't even do anything. They just let it run. They watch it, and then they, let it burn out stuff that's so dry. But so the people who suffered the big, huge fire that we had near Pasadena, it was called Altadena fire, and then the Palisades fire, some people are living in big trailers there now because their house hasn't been built yet, and they've had to leave, and the mud slides down and goes into houses below, and so it's a very treacherous time for a lot of people. So this rain is going over the course of many days, which hopefully gives time for the earth to kind of take it in and cut down. I mean, there was a lot of hard rain yesterday, I have to say, but where I live, it's okay. There's no burn right here, right now. Our last big fire with a lot of runoff was in 2017, December 4th. I'll never forget it. We left for a week. The fire was just ravaged our little area here. And our house was safe. Our neighborhood was safe. But all this rain, it's like such a blessing, and yet you can't help but think about the people who it may not be a blessing to. All right, so here we are. Enough about that. It's just always on my mind this time of year. Cannot get rid of it. I just hope it rains a lot. Slowly, minorly, but frequently, so we can just not have a fire season this year. All right, so, and then remember I told you that we go like this. Sometimes it folds down from the top. Sometimes it folds up from the bottom. Depends on what you're saving. Okay. And then what I do is I use a ruler and a pencil just to give me a line, and then I rip. Okay? So how did I figure this out? Well, I looked at it, this is where the fold is, so it's going to be above that. And I just kind of thought, well, what do I kind of want in here? I kind of want this tree in here. So I looked at where the tree ends, and it kind of ends here. So I just kind of did that. And then I ended it, here it is, and then I ended it here, where it kind of ends in this design, right? So let me see, I can't hardly see that line I drew at all. Here we go, here and here. I have to have my lighting down so low that you don't find it glaring on your end, but it's really too low on my end. I turn it up when I craft. Okay, so let's go like that. And then I'm going to rip this. If you rip from the top, not on the line, if you rip from the top, you don't get as much white. Like, in other words, if you bring the top forward, you get less white than if you bring the white forward, I think. Okay, there you go. And then you check it. I got quite a bit of white anyway. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Yeah, I could be wrong about that. Okay, so you can see I didn't go up as high as I thought I would, but that's okay, you know, still. And you can always augment it. So it's going to look like that. And that's going to be gone. And I like this tree going up there. Okay, and I am going to, then you're going to rip out this. There you go. So this would be available to use if I wanted to, but I didn't end up using it. I'm just going to put a little bit of I think I'm going to use this because I don't really want those white edges. I'm thinking maybe I was backwards about that, and that you actually want to pull the bottom towards you, and then the top gets some more white on it. I'm sure thousands of you, are sitting there going, yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So there you go. Okay. That was easy. Okay. And now you have the pocket itself. And then I say, get a bone folder and fold the hell out of it. Sorry, fold the heck out of it. It's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to stay together unless you do. Oh, this digital is so beautiful. I'm going to do a lot more with this kit, but like I say, I was just trying to get back into the creative groove, and folding paper seemed like the way. All right, and then you just want to, let's see. I've got the ephemera around here somewhere. Okay. Where did I put it? Okay. Oops. Well, that was a half hour. Okay. In this one, if you recall, I chose this tree and this owl. Tree and owl. There's a lot of things. There's a snowman. This is cut off from a tag I made. There's tons of churches. Lots of churches. There's cute little things like that. You don't have to put the girl in the front. You can put anything you want. These are the stamps that are made small that I used on this house one coming up. It's a cute bird. These are made small. I backed everything with these two colors of blue. Went with Frosted Forest, I thought. And the yellow also I used with this. my wreaths that I'm now using everywhere I can possibly use them. Another church. This is the regular size, so you can see 8.5 by 11, 5 by 7. Okay, big difference. The little wolf, little fox that I used in this, so huge difference. So they're really going to be tiny. So you know, cut up both sizes. This would be a good one to use on the inside here. That'd be perfect. I think I'll use that one. Just glue it there on 3 sides, and then find a tag you like. Could be this. That's also pretty. I don't think that would fit on this one, but it would fit in here if you wanted to put it right there. Okay, so they're walking down the road. So it'd be a seam within a seam. Does it fit or is it too wide? I think you'd have to cut the frame off. Well, let's just do it. Let's just see. Because I didn't want to make the second one exactly identical to the first one. Oh no, oh no. If I have to make 2 things alike, I'll faint to avoid it. I'm kidding. You know, our nervous system has flight, fright, and freeze. So that's why I said it. Okay. You know how animals, when they see a predator that they can't possibly fight off, they'll fall over and act like they're dead. Well, that's the freeze response, so there's humor only some people could get. I realize that, sorry. Okay, so, well, maybe I would do this. Wow, they would be in some valley. Otherwise, I had it out here. Well, that might work. This is actually like a hill. There's the actual road. That might work too. Actually, that does work right there. Oh, but the crease is there. Well, I'd have to cut it down. In order to get the road to line up, I would have to cut this off a bit. And I don't think I want to do that. I think it looks better if this is kind of in the middle. Anyway, this is how I play. So see, the road's too wide, and then it gets skinny. So to me, that looks very weird. But if it's out like this, then somehow you can get away with it. Okay, but if I put it here, it's midway between the 2 fold lines. And it's not up to here. So that's how I would do it. And then when you open it up, it's there. I like that. I think that's nice. And then put the bird or the robin. The robin's pretty with all that navy blue. This would show up more because it's a light blue. This will show up less, but there's a lot of darkness over there. And this has got the winter scene. I think I'm going to pick it. I think I like that light blue against the... Okay. It's so fun to play with pictorial stuff like this, I think. You know, because it's not typical. If you print out the big 8x8 pages with on best, I mean, they're beautiful, not on best, but they're, oh, some of the blues and some of the frosted tree limbs with the animals. She has all kinds of animals in this kit, more animals than people. I mean, I just think it's a beautiful, beautiful kit, and really, really fun to make and to use. And then I put one of these teeny tiny little stamps. This is the regular size of the stamp. See, that would be too big for this. But the small stamps, let's see, are perfect. Let's see, what would I want? Well, I guess that one. some of the stuff that I have coming up for you is a journal that I am going to be selling. It's one that you think you've seen before because I did a flip through. It was a design team project for Paper Cameo. It's a tall journal. A lot of fabrics are in it, and it's vintage. And I fashioned it differently. I mean, I didn't take it apart in terms of the papers, but I took out stuff and put stuff in, and I think I made it really beautiful. And I also added more lace, which I know you guys like. So I want to do a flip through of that again for you. It'll be a quick one. And then my art journal that you've also seen before was another way that I got myself back into crafting. And I really went through and added a ton. Took out some stuff I did that I didn't like. Mainly, just tags that were wrong. Things that were easy. I did do some major stuff. I copied complete digital pages that I didn't really like the digital. And I like it now. And I'm going to show you that too. Because I think it could be, if you want to break out of where you are, or you just want to make an art journal that's arty and you're not used to doing that, or you're, I want to move out of my comfort zone and stay there. My comfort zone has one look, and I want to be with a different look. So that's where I'm going. I keep talking about it, but I wasn't really doing it. Now I am. I'm using mixed media a lot more, and I'm making more ephemera, and I'm layering more things I should have been probably doing all along. So I think that's really light. I would not pick that for this, but I'd probably pick an owl because the coloring is so much better. But you get the drift. That's all I'm trying to do, is give you the drift. All right. And then, pick anything you want to go in there. All right, let's move on to the next one because I don't want to have this go on forever. Okay, so the tree, the house one, which uses this, and oh my gosh. Oh, yeah. I keep thinking these are two different digitals, the ornament and this. No, they're not. Okay. So I printed this at the 8.5 by 11 with the normal border. I mean, you don't have any choice. This is how it prints out, 8.5 by 11. And then I printed it out also 5 by 7. Okay, so now you know that these little houses are what I used on the inside here. And you can see these little owls are my small version. These are also the small version. This is a very tiny little area, this house. And let's open this up. And you can see this is the large version. And then when you go inside, these are the tiny version. And these are the ornaments. All right? Simple, simple, simple. 5 by 7. Fit to size. 8.5 by, it prints out at 8 by 8 with a border that I cut off. Okay. All right. So, I mean, this is, what do I have to explain, really? This is so simple. Literally, you cut these up. That's why these look a little bit thicker. You literally just go over this and go around the ornaments, and that's what formed that and all the trees. You can just see it's a perfect path. It's like a perfect path. If you're avoiding the ornaments, you end up with the trees. I knew I was trying to cut this out. I hadn't gotten the ornament idea yet. So I was going around, and that's when I realized, oh, it's going around the ornaments. And then, whoa, okay. I'll glue them up there. They're in the sky. And then on this side, okay, the key was, because when I originally turned this over, it was the whole roof. It looked like this. go. The whole thing went over, chimney and all. Here's my crease line of where it's going to be folded. Remember, folding is what you want to do first. Before you decide the 3, you want to make sure you do a fold line. And I could have left all that up there and it would have been super cute, but it would have been a super high pocket. There would have only been like this much left of the sky for anything to stick out. And I had seen this in the Ephemera and I just thought she was a gorgeous card. Love everything about it. Love her fur collar. And I wanted to use it. It actually has an additional frame on it that is beautiful, but it just took up too much space. So in another journal I'll be able to use it larger. This also, I think, had another frame around it, but same thing. I needed something skinny. So I just started to cut away. That's all I did. I just slowly began to cut away and determine what it was that I wanted to get rid of. And slowly but surely, I ended up getting rid of the entire top. So I'm saving you all that hassle. And then it showed this house behind, which I thought was really cool. And I wanted to use this cute owl, so I put it in the tree. But you don't have to. It's a very cute tree. And I used this owl here, and I backed her. I put a different owl on each side. Because this corner didn't work out very well. It sort of just ends in the sky, and then you've got this cut down to here. So if you wanted to not use something to cover it up, you might just cut yours straight out and not have it dip down. Just have it go straight out, and then you wouldn't have to put something there. But I think it's cute. I like all that texture. And I think it's really great to see the house behind instead of the roof that was there. And it's a little bit of fussy cutting, but it's all doable. And that's why you want to pick a back that it's not pictorial. That's why I picked the snowflake. There's 4 different snowflakes. There's lots of things to choose, you guys. It's a fantastic kit. TracyFoxCreative.com or Love Junk Journal. I'll put it in the description box. And then I just glued everything down. And that was it. So you end up getting cute stuff for almost no work. Right? I almost hate to cover that up because I really love it so much. It looks like a French chateau in the Alps to me. Alright. And then I promised to show you these other ones I made, so that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I showed you that. Okay, I'm going to show you this. I'll show you these. Okay, and remember you want to make this little tag here. Just a 2-sided square from the kit, and put it in here and here as a hinge. Pick something that when it shows it won't stand out too much, and you really don't have to use any paper clip. Oh, this is the new one I made because it doesn't have the design on it. Where is that one I made? Oh, here it is. Okay, so you can see what it looks like with and without. And you can see this pocket comes up higher than that. And that's fine. It's cool. Yeah. A little more rugged. Yeah. Okay. This is one of the little stamps with a little house and pine trees. I just felt like it kind of took the white frame and brought it into the picture. Okay. So I'm going to show you one that's really different from what I've shown you already. I added this stamp, and this is 2 layers. I have this is the original one that folds from this side. I made this like a few weeks ago, and then this I glued into this. So there's actually another pocket here if you wanted, but mainly I just wanted to make it higher. And then a couple pieces of ephemera. Ruby and Pearl, Sweet Pea Curiosities. Cut lace out to look like a butterfly. Backed them. And this is also from Ruby and Pearl, one of my favorite papers by her. Just love it. So this pops up. I think this is the second one I ever made. There's lots of room now for decoration on that, but you have to keep in mind that it does end up in the back, so you might want to make it flat instead of a pocket so that nothing falls out. And open it up, and this is one of her collages. Plenty of room for writing. And also a plain blank paper could be there if you wanted to. I added this beautiful stamp. Gorgeous, gorgeous stamp. Where's it from? Let's see. I think it's US. It says periodicals. Yeah, it could be US or it could be England, I guess. Periodicals as in written media, I assume, that come out periodically. Okay, so I love this. I've always loved this paper. I didn't really want to do much to mess with it because I really love it. And I love that. So I love the whole thing. Love the whole thing. And they're very disparate. I get that. So I added these red touches in order to tie it all together. All right, that's simple, simple, simple. This one I sort of showed you. So I put some cheesecloth at the end so that it sticks well up to the top. And then you've got that, so you know it flips up. Oh, wait. Huh. Okay. Oh, I put one of those things in it on the bottom. And now it opens. There you go. You got the whole scene. I mean, that's the point. You know, pick scenic paper that you can get the whole scene. Otherwise, you know, it's not special. You gotta pick the paper that'll give you the scene. And then I have this on the inside. I love this paper. This is from Sampool. Last year, somewhere for Christmas paper. I forget which kit, but isn't it gorgeous? Oh, I just love it. So I picked it because of the blue color. And, you know, somebody might think that this is a bird that lives by the ocean or by the sea. So that's cool. Okay. And then we have this one. This I was going with the green by the grass. And it's a cute little house, and she's sitting there reading her book on the lawn. And not really, because remember, she's from another paper. So I like it to tell a bit of a story. And then in the inside, it's a Sampool doily kit. And got the whole thing. There she is. There was no way I could get her to be a feature, so it went that way. Because she's not near the edge. She's near the fold of the back. Okay. There we go. And then this was another pocket. And this was a booklet I made. This is tin. I cut into a tin can, put a sticker on top, and it's a little booklet. This is from Pink Monarch Prints. I think this is from Whimsy. I just thought it looked so pretty. Art House Whimsy is who that girl's from. Look at that. Oh, I love it. And then last but not least, I thought I'll try a tall one. This is from the Frozen Forest kit. This one was so flat that there's nothing holding it together. It literally just stays together. So the paper is a bird. And inside, well, I've got a couple tags. And then this incredible owl. Look at that. These are the most highly decorated pictorials I think I've ever seen. They are gorgeous. Gorgeous. I added this as a pocket. And this is the bird looking over the meadow in England. And there's a house up there. So, and this is pretty down here. So I featured the house up there and the bird down here. And I wanted the little squirrel's head to show. go. So this could be a bookmark. It could be a tuck. It could go into a tuck, and then you get a whole pocket. Yeah, that's it. So you guys, so good to be with you again. I hope you enjoyed this. Would you let me know? It's been so long. I would really love to hear if you found this fun or if you just think it's, oh my gosh, I've seen it a million times before. But good to see you. Whatever, just let me know that you got something out of this. I would appreciate it. And then next time I'm going to show you the tall journal, feminine, lots of textiles for sale, and then the art journal. And then I also I'm going to show you how I fill bezels with the dome with a different liquid than the one that Dodie uses in her wonderful video. And I have some different ideas on using it with things that aren't bezels. I've used it on other stuff. So that'll be a short one, but I will be doing that one as well. And then I've got, I'll be part of the December Daily for Tracy's month-long collaboration. And then I've got a kit from Chapter 1 Papers that is stunning. It's not Christmas, and I'll be doing that soon. And then Paper Cameo has got a Christmas kit coming up, and so does Chapter 1. So I will be on doing these things at the least. But who knows? I might be on even more than that. So have a wonderful week. I'll see you before that. No, I won't see you, but you'll see me before that. And take care. Bye.